listening to Ash Wednesday, the podcast with Little J and Big J.
Welcome, everybody, back to Ash Wednesday.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Little J.
Big J.
And we have some very special guests in the house with us tonight. We have the Lloronas.
Hello.
You guys want to
Hi.
introduce yourselves a little bit?
Sure. I'm Amanda, and I sing for Lloronas.
And I'm Honora. I do bass and backup vocals sometimes.
Sweet. So these lovely ladies were nice enough to join us in the studio today. So we're just going to BS and kind of the general format of last show. We'll just BS for a little while. We're going to talk about some music, though, for sure. And then, kind of, who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Start it off.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. So, first off, everything's going like ballistic, hell in a handbasket in the world. And I hate to be such a negative Nancy. I really do.
Yeah, it kind of sucks right now.
It kind of sucks right now. This whole, Puerto Rico hurricane thing is really bumming me out, man. And I'm super upset that a lot of people are in so much pain. It sucks.
Yeah, I got family there, so it is a bummer for sure. And I really hope they are okay and everyone there is okay.
Yeah, because, we get some pretty severe weather here in South Texas, right? But nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that sort of devastation, which I hate to start on a down note, but I want to kind of get it out of the way because I think it's really important, first off, and then we can kind of change the mood a little bit,
Yeah, it's been bugging me. And just knowing that I got family there, and it's just, it sucks, dude. And it's like, it wasn't just that one, it was back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, kind of like back to back to back.
Yeah,
like
back to back to back to back. Like, fuck, dude, Mother Nature is pissed.
They got like 3
She's an
hurricanes in a
angry
row.
woman.
Yeah. Hell hath no fury, like Mother Nature just pissed off. Dude.
Yeah, like, hey, you guys are just getting on my nerves. Can you go away now?
Like, stop fucking polluting me.
Yeah.
Stop get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Nice.
Y'all need to see mothers. Tell you about that.
So I saw that you posted on Facebook about this. So what's the deal with this movie? I've heard some mixed reviews about it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
But it's like, okay, so basically if you go in thinking it's going to be like a horror movie, because that's how a lot of the promotion was, you're going to be like really disappointed, because if you go in expecting anything, it's not going to be what you expect, and you're just going to be mad about it the whole time.
So they just set it up all like, they just hyped it up to be a horror movie, and they just kind of let
I
it
think
down.
because they didn't know what else to fucking like.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you think about it, it is kind of scary.
It's
scary,
scary
but
to
scary
me.
for like different reasons.
Oh, okay.
I heard that it's very, very artistic. It's very, you have to
Yeah.
interpret a lot.
Yeah, it's very like the Vanity Fair posted a really cool article explaining like a bunch of scenes in it, and like after I read it, I realized I really love this movie, and I want to go see it again, knowing these things.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't
Wanna
know.
check it out?
I like movies where I don't have to think sometimes. Like just
Yeah.
sort of mindless comedies. Maybe
Every
sit through them.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Bloodsport was good.
Oh, classic.
Those are classics. But yeah, I heard that it's very, very, it's very artistic, very interpretive. So you can walk away with different, I guess, opinions and variations of what you think about the whole movie.
But
right?
that's totally like his style of movie, because like if you think about Black Swan too, like it seems kind of cut and dry, and then other people have different perspectives on it and everything. So
I'm not gonna lie, I only watched that movie for a very specific reason.
to see the makeout scene
Since
between
made
Natalie
it-
Portman.
that was the
Oh my
only
God.
reason I saw that movie. No, and I say that only because, it was a great movie after that. You know what I mean? Like, not after the scene, but after I watched it, I was like, this is really good. The scene was what got me there, but the movie kept me there, right? So it was
Gotcha,
really great.
gotcha.
I thought it was a great movie. So
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna check both of those out.
You have
I don't
yet to
really watch
see-
much movies, so
you have yet to see it.
like that. God,
I'm going to give you an update on our Game of Thrones situation here. Now, just to kind of catch everybody up, if you didn't catch the first episode, apparently I am the only person in the entire universe who's never watched Game of Thrones.
I've never seen it.
Welcome to the tribe.
I don't know. I don't have time on Sundays.
Yeah. So
I'm busy.
I made an off-air promise to check it out, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I got through maybe the first 2 eposodes. I fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it starts slow, but like towards the end of this first season, it picks up, and it's like, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna power through it.
Just power
I'm gonna
through it,
like
man. I
Red
had to
Bull
power through
and I'm gonna Red Bull and vodka the whole season. You know, like binge, drink, and watch.
I'm like a casual Game of Thrones fan. I didn't watch it, but my parents watched it, and my dad read the books, and he would take me back to college on weekends, and it's all he'd want to talk about, like after we would exhaust college football. And so like I'd be on my phone Wikipediaing everything, and I'm like, yeah, so tell me about this character. and then what happened, and like looking at
Right.
recaps to like keep
Nice.
the conversation going with him because I was like, he liked talking about it. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's talk about it. But I watched this whole last season, but it was really hard because I was going between that and Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see the Twin Peaks remake. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. First off, where are you guys from
Well,
originally?
I think we can both agree
Yeah.
we're from the south side of San Antonio. And
For our readers, for our listeners who are not in the state of Texas or in San Antonio, what does that mean?
well, it's pretty much like I don't know how to explain it.
Like right off of 35. According to my boyfriend, Amanda and him are from the wrong side of the tracks of the
I like
south
how
side.
he uses
That's awful.
air quotes,
Like,
right?
that's
The
what he
rough
says.
side. The rough
Because
side.
he's like, you live right by South Park Mall, and you have this really nice church in front of your house, and you don't have roosters in your neighborhood. And I was like, no, but there's a dog that sounds like a donkey, and he comes into our yard and barks at us. So like, there's that.
So having poultry in your yard makes it a bad side of town.
I guess so.
I thought it would make it a delicious side of
Nah,
town.
man, that's bullshit.
I mean, it's not only chickens, it's goats.
It's
and,
a
like,
lot of
pigs.
stuff.
It's just
Dude,
Nice.
right over here right off Bandera, I think it's Bandera or Babcock, they have like a whole neighborhood with nothing but peacocks.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
I've been.
God.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
crazy. I heard they're
That's
assholes
crazy.
though.
it. The
yeah,
peacocks,
no,
Just
they.
saying.
I know. I've heard that too.
They're me.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
the
they get
peacocks
really
or the
protective.
owners?
Probably both.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know.
So okay, so from the south side of San Antonio,
Yeah.
give us a little history about you guys. How did this whole thing get started?
well, me and Nora, we've known each other since high school. We
yeah.
were in the marching band together.
Nice.
I guess we were always really supportive of the music scene, but
Yeah.
we were never involved. And I guess when we hit like our 20s,
Yeah, we have a lot of
Like-
we have a lot of friends in bands, and so we spent a lot of like high school and after high school going to their shows and supporting them. And
Cool, man.
then one day
we were just like, dude, we want something for us, for women. You know, we don't have that.
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, like we have things to say too, and like
we
we
want to
should start a
fucking say
band
them and like.
Cool,
like-
man. Get a
So you
message
wanted an
out,
avenue
get
to
your
be
feelings out,
have your
get it
voice
out there.
heard, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And like a lot of our conversations, because I moved away for college. I lived in Fort Worth and Dallas for about 4.5 years. And so when I moved back, a lot of times I was going out with Amanda, and we were going out and just hanging out and stuff. And a lot of our topics of conversation would always come back to the fact that like anywhere else where it's like not just a big group of women talking, we felt like we had a lot to say, but we weren't taken seriously or we weren't really heard. And in like different social settings, we had actually talked about like starting a band with a bunch of our guy friends because, you know, we grew up thinking like, oh, they're going to like they're
high
like
school, middle school friends that are
they're
musicians.
musicians, so like
Right.
they'll be cool with it. And I guess we felt like we weren't like taken seriously.
Basically, yeah.
Like they thought it was a joke. Like they thought, and I mean, like it was kind of a joke to us for like a second until we like finished laughing and we were like, no, we should do this.
Yeah.
But
Almost their
everyone-
reaction sort of sounds like it kind of drove you guys into doing
Seriously,
Out of
a
spite.
little
put-
bit stronger. Yeah.
It pushed us like really like fuck it, we're gonna do this and we're gonna fucking show them. Like, not to sound all like vengeful, like we don't really care anymore. It was like a while back, but
Right.
Yeah.
it really was like disturbing to us to think like since we're women, we have to do this. Oh well, Amanda, you have to play guitar like a fucking badass, and you can't just sing. You have to do this. You have to do that.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Like, why do you put this high standard for me right now? Like when you
Right.
could fucking make a shitty band with your neighbor, and y'all are the best thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Or it's like I don't know. It was really weird when we started. I played guitar, but I'm very mediocre at it, and I don't really want to get better. So I picked up bass, and I was like, "Yes, This
Right.
is great."
Just like
The
following the
low
path
end.
of all bass players.
I was like,
Like,
yes.
funny.
I'm just like, no shame. Exactly. And when I started, there was a whole bunch of people trying to tell me like how to play bass and how I should learn. And it was kind of like,
Any
how
instrument
about?
you pick up, there's going to be people like that.
I was like, how
critics, yeah.
about I know my learning style and I've studied this, so let me learn the way I want to fucking learn.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
really.
But it always made me feel like they thought that I couldn't progress without like other people's input. Like I didn't know myself.
Yeah.
And, like,
Right. You're trying to find yourself, your sound.
Yeah.
And usually with that, it's like people want to just kind of intervene and be like, I want to try this instead,
Yeah.
do this
Or
and that.
you should sound like this.
Yeah.
And it's like I should sound like however the fuck I want to sound
Yes,
like.
exactly. And
Yeah.
oh man, that's probably the most frustrating thing as a musician is just other people telling you how and who to sound like, and it's just like, fuck you. I'm gonna sound like me.
You're always going to be
That's what you should
compared,
do.
yeah, in some way,
Yeah,
I
for
think.
real.
Especially as
It's
a
annoying.
vocalist. Like, I'm a vocalist, Amanda's a vocalist, and I can tell you when you're on stage and you start, especially doing songs that maybe sound familiar to somebody else, or if you're in a band that's like a cover band, people have sort of a template of a
Right.
front man they wanna kind of compare you to. And if you don't
Yeah.
fit that mold, they're losing out a lot on, first off, the show. If it's a good show,
True.
it's focusing on that aspect, I think.
Too judgmental right away.
Right
Like,
away.
Just listen and enjoy it.
And
dude.
enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard your material, and we're going to play a track here very shortly. But I got to tell you, vocally, man, I loved it. I thought your voice was great.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
it has a quality to it. And we were just talking before the show, right? Like a
Yeah.
sort of like a surf rock, punk, pop mix.
But it's raw.
Yes.
That's what I like about it. Like it's just
Thank you.
it's energy.
Yeah,
And that for me makes good music.
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
a good experience.
absolutely. So what kind of artists were you guys growing up listening to there on the South Side?
Well, I guess we always had like, well, our roots is Tejano and like fucking like 90s and 80s. Like,
Nice.
I think we could both agree on that. And
Yeah.
I guess in our high school years, we were like pop punk,
And emo.
emo kids.
I'm still
like-
emo. I'm
Me
a
too.
I'm a high school teacher, and a bunch of kids make fun of like that's so emo, and I'm like, this is what it looks like when you're an adult. It's not a phase. You never grow out of it. And they're like, Miss Sanchez. I'm like, don't you dare talk to me.
That's hilarious.
Do your work.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like other than that, growing up, me personally, my parents would listen to like singer songwriters of the 70s, and like I was really big on like 60s music for a really long time.
Nice.
My next influence came from my sister. She was like Slipknot, Kitty, Incubus,
Nice.
Incubus,
Dude, Incubus is so
Garbage, like that whole thing. And then like after that, I kind of just branched off from there. I had a cousin who introduced me to a lot of like indie and emo, like pop punk and stuff. And then like that's where I kind of grew.
Cool.
Nice. Amanda?
Well, I would like to mention my dad is a really big influence. I know Joey knows him.
Yep.
He's always been in bands. He's always been playing instruments, and like he would always just like be blaring like these fucking like metal bands and being like, "Oh my god, like this is so good, like you should hear this" type thing.
Nice.
So I think like having that for my dad and my mom, like loving 80s like pop music, singer songwriter, like Alanis Morissette, like that really influenced me as a child to
Yeah.
Cool.
love vocals, you know.
Nice.
Like,
So
and
this-
heavy music.
the stuff that you guys have online right now, what's out there that people can actually listen to?
We just released an album, and the whole thing is on Spotify and iTunes. We also have some of our very first recordings on Bandcamp, right, and
Okay.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, we're gonna try and update that with our new stuff too.
Yeah, they're like very earliest recordings. I think half of them were done by a friend in his recording studio on the South Side, and then the other half were done by another friend in Amanda's garage where we practice.
Nice.
Yeah, so-
It's a big garage. I've been there. It's a really big garage.
We love it.
It's perfect for rehearsing. Like, that's a
Yeah.
tough thing to find, is rehearsal
Yeah.
space, man.
It's true.
I'll tell you.
Our neighbors don't even care if we're like playing till 2 a.m. too.
Nice.
They're so nice.
And it's free. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Must be really cool neighbors.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what about shows coming up? Now, you guys are pretty active in the scene. So I looked at your calendar on Facebook and a lot of your past shows. You guys are like everywhere. So tell us about some of your upcoming shows.
Oh.
The 7th.
In Harmony, by the way.
Yeah, October 7th at Bang Bang Bar is our next one. We're going to play with Particles Collide. We love the Bang Bang Bar. We're always there. Fonnie and Jen
They're really
from
great.
Girl Nakoma and Faya, they own it.
They're really
and
great.
Nice.
They're really
Awesome.
supportive ladies. Like, so glad to know them.
yeah. They always
Way to
ask
go
us,
there.
and I think that they're like telling people from out of state, like, hey, ask them, because we keep getting
Yeah, like every email that's an offer for Bang Bang Bar starts with, "We were told we should contact you," and it's like, okay,
okay, yeah, we'll play with
right.
y'all.
Do some little
Yeah.
booking on the side. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Hook it
Nice.
up.
So how was the recording process for this new album? What's the name of the album?
You're the Buddha.
You're the Puta. Nice.
Yeah.
For our listeners who don't speak Spanish, explain.
Well, Buddha is pretty much like, it's kind of like a loving term as my bitch.
It,
like,
Nice.
it didn't start off that way.
No,
like,
like,
the
you can-
origins are kind of like, you know, you're a puta, like you're a slut.
I love you, like you
you're
bitch,
a slut.
like, you
but
slut.
now it's like, it's
a
more of a term of endearment.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. So where did you guys end up recording this album?
Our recent album we recorded at Matador Recording Studio. It's here, based out of San Antonio. It's part of our collective.
Yeah, part of our music collective, Lost Records. So Lost Records is kind of like an umbrella group, and it's usually made up of like us, Lost Project,
Young Costello.
Yeah, Young Costello, Harvey McLaughlin, the Bottom Feeders.
Cool.
And so like it's just kind of a collective that wants to help local musicians in the music scene. So right now they're just booking a lot of shows for a lot of different bands, trying to get them kind of exposure.
They
That's
book
awesome.
every Saturday at Hondros, so they'll have like a Lost Records night.
And it's called like Lost
Get Lost.
Lost Records Takeover, and I think we're playing that on the 14th.
Can we
this
find them
month.
on Facebook, online?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can
Definitely.
please find Lost
We will
Records
put
on
the
Facebook.
links
Yeah.
below.
So check out the YouTube comments below. We'll put the links up for
Sweet.
not only your Bandcamp page, your Facebook page. We'll see if we can get a iTunes and Spotify link, and we'll also put up a Lost Records link.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
And
group of
Matador
people.
Studios.
And Matador
also.
Studios as
Yeah,
well,
they
yeah.
also have a Facebook.
It's not the first time I've
yeah.
heard about them. I've heard a lot of albums being recorded there. I know a few people who've gotten their recordings and they sound great.
No, they're
Yeah.
super.
Yeah,
They're
sounds
super
good.
amazing. The
Very
guy that
supportive.
Yeah, the guy that recorded us, the sound engineer Tommy. He's just the best.
Yeah, he it was like our show, you
Yeah.
know. He wasn't trying to produce us or trying to like change anything. He's like, you guys, are you comfortable? You get in there and you do your thing. And I was like, that is something to me. I want somebody
Yeah.
to take what we have already and appreciate it instead of trying to change it,
Nice.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the process like of recording creatively? How did you guys end up, who does the writing? Who does the guitar work? Who does what?
I
Kinda
think
sporadic.
I
or-
It's a
do.
little sporadic. It's
Okay.
a little all over the
Yeah.
place. There is like one kind of formula that's been recently. Hasiel, our guitar player, he does a lot of practicing, and he records every single idea that comes to his
He
mind.
wakes up like at
Awesome.
4 a.m. It's like, I fucking need to play this, and he'll play it and like he'll record it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Very smart.
Yeah, so
it's true.
he'll do that, and he'll come to practice with a lot of riffs and stuff. And a lot of the time, Amanda already has lyrics that she's written down. Sometimes I have lyrics that I've written down, and we'll see if anything like fits, works.
Right,
If
right.
it does, Pa starts to play it, and I start to like kind of try and play along with my bass, figure something out.
The drummer comes in.
Yeah, our drummer tries to figure things out too, and once we get like kind of a cohesive like verse or a chorus, then we all kind of start going together. If Amanda needs more lyrics, she asks for like Hasiel and my help to
Awesome.
kind of
Nice. So it's a really collaborative effort, starting from what sounds like just creative process from the guitar player, right?
Yeah.
Initially,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
initially from
Yeah.
there.
Or like sometimes too, like I'll even be like, hey, I have these really cool lyrics. Do you have anything in your files?
Right.
Like bring it out. Or like I have like a whole folder of lyrics already.
nice.
So, but sometimes they're just like little poems or they're just like a phrase
Right.
that I want to turn into a song.
Little snippets of something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll be
right
like,
on.
hey, what do you think about this? Like we could base it on this or whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's keep going with that. So
Cool.
Or
Nice,
sometimes
nice.
I'm just thinking nobody's paying attention to me, and I'm noodling, and Hasiel's like, "What'd you just play?"
Oh my
and I'm like,
God, yeah.
I don't know." And he's like, "Play it again." And I'm like, "What was it?"
Just start recording all the time.
All the
right.
time.
Everything.
Just always have something.
Yeah. Always something going. Well, let's take a listen to a track right now. Tell us about this track that we're going to play.
Death becomes her.
Oh no, American
Oh,
Puta.
American Puta. Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Well, oh man, so this is one of my favorite songs, American Puta. Like while writing, it was very freeing for me because of all the standards on women, especially being like on the side of on our side of town. There's always statistics where women are not going to graduate; they're going to end up pregnant at 18 or 16, and
Drop out of college because
Yeah,
they got pregnant.
stuff like that.
bullshit.
Like that
And-
sort of
Sorry.
thing.
that's something that always bothered me, and I always wanted my sisters or my cousins to know, hey, you don't have to follow through that statistic. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Because
Nice,
you're
man. Awesome.
you're you, man, you know? And I wrote that song with them in mind, and
That's awesome.
I named it American Puta. So
All
Dude,
right.
that's powerful. That really is.
you.
Well, check it out. This is the Lloronas with American Puta.
She believes she cares and she dares, labeled as a statistic. Fights off resistance in an erasing, handing over power with your last name and sex.
Welcome back to Ash Wednesday.
Hello again.
Hey again.
I missed you.
Lil J, Big J, and we've got the Lloronas in the house. Woo.
Hello.
Hello. So the track we just heard was American Puta, right? And we were just during the break talking about the band name, right? So so tell us a little bit how kind of where this came from.
Well,
Like we said, for a brief moment, this was a joke.
yeah, we thought it was funny. We're like, fuck it, let's do this. And we wanted our name to be Dickskins for a while.
Dick skins.
We were
Yeah.
gonna be that, like
That's
the dick
fucking
skin.
great.
we were very
Yes.
like so feminist. Like we're gonna fucking be Dickskins, and we're gonna
In
get
your
up there.
fucking face, dick skins, we're
Like
all
we
about it.
planned out our
That's
T-shirts
awesome,
and
dude.
like
Nice.
everything, but. And I literally sat my parents down. And I was like, okay, so I'm starting this band. Like, you know this, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, but brace the name, man, because it's going to be called Dickskins. And, like, both their faces were like, I guess, like, you know, yeah, sure. Like, my dad's like, well, there's Pussy Riot and this. Like, yeah, y'all can fit into that
Right.
category. And, like, I don't know.
When I told my parents, it's just like par for the course. Like they're like, really? All right,
Okay.
whatever.
That sounds about right.
They're like,
See how it goes.
"Dude,
Do
this,
it."
this sounds like your fuckery. And
That's
I was like,
funny.
But I guess luckily, me and Amanda went to a show at the 1011. And it was
the 1011?
it was a
That's
1011.
amazing.
And it was the first ever time that we had seen Fea or the Coat Hangers. And we watched Fea and we became like so entranced by it.
like, they're what we want.
Yeah, like
That's what we
we're
wanna
like,
do.
man, or like that's what we should be. Like they're hard and like they don't give a shit and everything sounds great. And like we turned to each other and we were just like, we can't be the Dickskins. Like
We have to be
we
something
can't.
more serious too.
Yeah.
For us, you know.
Something that represents you guys
Something,
a little bit
yeah.
stronger.
I'm gonna say
yeah.
Dick Skin sounds like a extreme death metal band name.
Right? Yeah.
Like
With those unreadable logos.
yeah, just a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, just
Stick
no, it's just a bunch of
skins.
dicks.
Yeah, a pile of dicks.
A pile of dicks that you can't read.
That's our next shirt.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. So
I'll
Huss
wear
is gonna
it,
be
shit.
so mad.
That's
Huss
awesome.
be
Be
like,
like,
Rock
no,
that.
Huss
no.
designs like a lot of
lot of
our
our
stuff.
stuff.
And
That's
so
great.
if we go back and we tell him that, he'd be like, guys,
Really, I'm
No.
gonna be at work drawing a bunch of dicks.
that's awesome. So tell us about Lloronas. How did that kind of get started?
Well, I think we both really were into her. I mean, I've always been since I was younger.
we really like Mexican, Texan kind
Folklore.
of South Texas folklore.
Uh-huh.
And so I had taken kind of an interest in her a while back because
Well, look, for our listeners who don't know, I think we
Who,
talked
the
about this
Llorona?
last show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us
She's,
your kind of knowledge of the. Let's talk about this folklore really quick, right?
Okay.
Give us your background knowledge on all that.
It's spooky.
Because we
So-
sort of made assumptions in the last show. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
well,
okay.
I mean,
actually, okay, we run into this a lot because we always make assumptions that people know
Who
the
she
legend
is.
of La Llorona.
I mean, if
And-
you're in San Antonio, like I think that's
But
like a
But even then,
Yeah,
we
like-
met some people at our last show, and they're like, "What is that?
Right.
Who is
it's
that?"
crazy
And
to
I'm like,
us
"What?"
because when we were younger, like my grandma like would be like, the Llorona's gonna get you if you don't listen. I'm like, what? Who the heck's the Llorona? Like she was just like this scary person, like the cucuy that you're scared of, you
the
know?
boogeyman.
The
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
boogeyman. Like that's
So there's a lot of different versions of this story. Sometimes it takes place in Texas or Mexico. Or like right on that border. And there's a lot of different, like I said, there's a lot of different interpretations of it. But in every iteration, there's a woman who drowns her 3 children. And sometimes it's out of spite for her husband because he wants to leave her. Sometimes it's because she's taken a lover and he didn't want her children, and so she drowns them, and he leaves her anyways.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the end of it, every time she feels like this instant guilt of kind of forsaking her children, and she goes to find them, and she herself drowns in the river.
Wow.
So
Damn.
the ending of it is you don't go out to the river or any water late at night because Llorona is going to come, and she's going to think that you're her child, and she's going to drag you into the water.
Wow.
Dude,
That's pretty intense.
if I saw that in real life, I would just accept it.
I would pee and then run.
Like, this is it. I'm
I would
done.
pee and then run, or vice versa. I'd probably run and then pee.
I would explode.
I would.
Oh my
From
gosh.
sheer fear.
Just explode all over the place.
Just a ball of
Yeah.
beard and long hair.
yeah.
She's pretty
Exploded
spooky.
beard.
Yeah, that sounds spooky.
It
So
is
you
spooky.
took the name
That's
on
awesome.
because of that iconic kind of graphic image that we in the South Texas area have. And so, how did it end up becoming the name, the staple of the band now?
I took like this really big interest in her because I saw an artistic interpretation that an artist, Irene Garcia, had done, and I was like, man, this is beautiful. And like, I have a Llorona tattoo.
Nice.
I looked at it every
Cool.
day to make sure. And when we changed the name, the very first thing my mom said was, well, what happens if your brand breaks up and you have that tattoo? And I'm like, one, the tattoo is not about the band.
Yeah.
And I go, I love her. But when I was going through a lot of research, to make sure I want this tattoo,
Yep.
I came across a lot of like scholarly articles, like people who wrote these like essays about how Llorona is 1/3 of like Mexican American feminism.
Okay.
And it's the Virgen de Guadalupe and Malinche. So
And I have the Virgen on my arm.
Nice.
And she has Llorona.
So we just need
Cool, man.
We just
need a third
yeah,
down
us.
ass.
Time to get
Yeah,
a
person.
keyboard player, huh?
Yeah, for real.
Auditions.
But she's 1/3 because it's the three facets of a woman. You're either a virgin, a traitor, or a whore. That
Oh,
sort of
wow.
thing.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
I
That's
didn't either.
terrible.
That's actually a really interesting take on that.
Wow.
I mean, it's a really interesting interpretation.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, continue.
And somebody academic
yeah.
wrote it, so that means they were really
that means
smart.
it's legit.
It is legit.
It
yeah.
is.
It's
It is
A+.
legit.
It is not Wikipedia.
It's not.
No.
They cited
Doesn't
all
sound-
their sources.
Yeah. So how's
Legally.
the reaction been to the name?
I mean, I think it's a really good reaction, especially to like the diehard Hispanics are like, dude, that's fucking cool. Like, y'all are putting that, bringing that out. And then also like they question people who don't know. They're like, well, what is it? Can you tell me? Like,
Yeah.
So we
It's a
always
great
have fun.
conversation starter.
Yeah,
we always
for
have
reals.
fun explaining and relating with the name. It's really good.
And it is spelled
Nice.
Lloronas.
R-O.
NAS.
Not Lloronas.
Oh, we get that a lot. Trust
Or
me.
Llornas. I see that.
Llornas.
Like a lot of people probably don't know how to pronounce it.
yeah, it's kind of sometimes they'll say. I think someone called us like a Rania or something.
Yeah.
No, Rania.
The
I'm like, we're
Lloronas?
not spiders.
La Araña, and we're like, that's
no,
not it.
not
That's
that.
hilarious.
We're not spiders. We're
No.
we're
Nice.
crybabies.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and
We're not Black Widows. We just
forgot
cry
to-
a lot.
we forgot to mention
Right.
what Llorona means in Spanish. It's a crybaby,
Yeah.
pretty much like crying.
Crying.
The
Nice.
crying woman.
The crying
Yeah,
woman.
she's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
woman.
She's crying because her children. So.
And we did mention
Yeah.
that on the show, I think last
Yeah.
week. But we were kind of taking the stab in the dark because we grew up with the same lore, with the same urban legend.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
even where I grew up, kind of south of San Antonio, that was a really big deal. Like, it's just in our culture. It's in the Latino culture.
That was still new to me because I'm from California.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
I'm
Oh.
not from here.
yeah. El Cucuy was the big one.
Do you
Yeah.
know the cucuy?
Yeah.
The boogeyman.
Yeah, I know
the,
that one.
The Llorona.
Yeah.
La Chusas.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know
Chusas.
that one. What is that?
That.
Oh, this is
Oh.
great. You guys you played with a band, I think, called the La Chusas,
La
right?
Chusa, yeah,
Love
they're from
La Chusa.
Victoria.
Nice. Okay.
So,
and
yeah.
it's actually a pretty really deep South thing, I think. Because
Yeah.
I do remember it growing up, but not so much here as in back in, I guess.
Oh,
in
okay.
the
I think
valley
it's
or
more
whatever.
like open land type thing because
Mm-hmm.
of the background of it. The lechuza is like a big owl that goes to farms and like instead of
okay.
eating like the mice, he eats humans.
Yeah.
or, like
Whoa.
And I
right?
remember growing up.
Something like that.
Yeah.
something like
and
that.
if you-
They drag him
if
off.
you tried to like shoo it off or make eye contact with it, it would come after you.
Oh,
And
what
these
a
are all really and you know what? These are all really great tools for our culture to sort of make sure that the kids fall in line. It's the same thing
Yeah.
that
No,
it's
you're
true.
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
to
You're
listen.
totally
Plenty-
right.
Same concept as Santa
It's-
Claus is kind of the same.
Urban
too.
Yeah,
legends.
like-
smear
Saint Nicholas was
tactics.
supposed
be
to be sort of a
good, be
good
good
thing.
because yeah.
He'll
Yep.
come and give you presents, and then Krampus comes
Instead
and
of-
eats you.
Yeah, no, Krampus is real.
Except, like, Hispanics
legit
are
think he's
like-
real. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Gonna get you
Mr.
at night.
Krampus. That's Mr. Krampus.
I,
Mr.
I
I'm
used
sorry.
to tell one of my cousins, like, if you don't behave, Llorona's going to come get you, even though we don't live near any water.
Nice,
That's
yeah.
Like, there's
Okay.
no water, but I
It's
would
still
still
fucking scary. Like
It is.
try to keep him in line.
That's the same concept as like remember Bloody Mary?
Oh,
Sort of-
yeah.
oh God, that was
No,
creepy as a
man,
kid.
dude, Bloody Mary. Mm-mm.
Not so much.
Nope.
It's still kind of scary to me
Yes.
too, though. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna do it.
As an adult, I
It's
still
this
try
crushing
it.
Latino
I get
fear.
to two.
Like, no, like my sister's like, let's go do Bloody Mary. She's in middle school. I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't know what you're messing with,
don't know
child.
that, yeah.
Like, don't
No.
do
Don't
it.
you open that
You
door.
can make
Do
me
not
a Bloody
open
Mary.
portals here.
But we're not going to do Bloody Mary.
I will take my Bloody Mary extra spicy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
just one day she's just gonna come home with a Ouija board.
Well, fuck
Oh,
that,
no.
dude. No.
Get it out of
Get
here.
out, burn.
Get it
Ouija
out.
board.
You're
man.
Mexican. You don't
mess with
do
those too
this.
much. You don't mess with those too much.
The sage her.
Right.
So what's in the future for the Lloronas?
Well,
we're making new music, and whenever we can, like we all just have like snippets, like we said, and that's our goal.
we have one new song.
One new song that we want to
That's
record
kind of,
for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of out there. There's a lot of songs that we don't get to play too much because we haven't had time to like really fully practice. So we're gonna try and practice those to kind of bust them out. So they'll sound like
Cool.
new, but they'll
Yeah.
fit with everything else that we have.
Right on.
Just got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
It's the key.
It's a tough process, man, creatively, doing stuff like we
Yeah.
talked about. Because you
Yeah.
got to put the time and the effort in.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
More so the time.
more so the time. More so the time.
Oh, man. I'm sorry about that,
We'll
folks.
just edit that and put
I couldn't help it.
Just
Yeah.
open the podcast
It's an open,
with it.
open
Yes.
format, open burp.
No, leave it in. Leave it in. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. So, first, I'd like to say thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you for having
And,
us.
Awesome.
thanks for coming in into Cold Orange Studios, into this giant orange room that's
It's super orange, guys.
that's really bad for radio to try and describe something. It's not really, and nobody here.
We'll take
So,
pictures.
we'll take pictures and send it to you guys.
You'll see the orange. everywhere.
Exactly. So October 7th at the Bang Bang Bar. What else you guys got coming up?
The 13th at Imagine Books.
Okay.
The 14th.
Friday the 13th. So we're gonna get super spooky for that.
Nice.
We love to
Nice.
dress up in October.
Yes.
Like that. Like every show, every weekend, we're cats or like we're skeletons or something.
Awesome.
Nice.
It's like really fun for us. And they're like yeah, we're the Lloronas. Like let's just fucking
Let's get spooky.
let's get spooky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like we have two
Spooky.
emotions. Like let's get spooky and let's cry together.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like,
Where's it? Let's get drunk together. That should be the third
Oh
one.
no, that's always in the mix. We're
That's in the
always drunk with
middle.
each other.
That's the given.
That's like
Yeah.
for
so
sure.
either
Yeah.
we're spooky or we're crying and
Yeah.
supporting each other as
And
we cry.
both drunk at the same time
Both
for
drunk.
both
Yeah.
of them.
Okay.
Our music is very emotional. So we like
Yeah.
write and we cry.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Well,
Our
we'd
dance
love
scenes.
to have you guys back on the show.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in today. I think October 7th at the Bang Bang Bar, 13th at Imagine Record or Imagine.
We will put
Books.
that information below.
We're going to put all that on the YouTube comments below.
awesome.
Thanks for the Lloronas, Amanda and Honora, for coming in. I'm Little J.
I'm Big J.
And thanks for listening to Ash Wednesday. Check us out next week. We'll have another guest online right now. Online is TBD. And that's not an STD. It's just to be determined.
What are you trying to say, man? Nah.
And we've got some big news coming soon. So stay tuned.
Later.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.